Thank you everyone for being here for this very special event. For those who have not heard by now, Rabbi Anava has had an exceptional life experiences that has brought him to where he is now. He's truly a special individual of our times who always leads with humility and integrity, and we are very honored to have him here in LA. We thank him for his time, and you're in for some very inspirational stories. Please silence your phones if you have not already done so, and leave your questions until the end. Thank you so much, Rabbi, for being here. No further ado, Rabbi Anava.
I'm just going to bring down. The last speaker was a very short speaker. Tov, can you hear me well in the back? Good. So you all want to know how you change your Mazal, huh? That's why we got the place full. Well, we're going to talk about tonight about our luck, and not about the luck that I'm going to have going east and north from here to Vegas. This is not the luck we're going to talk about tonight. But first of all, thank you very much. And a special thanks to, I don't see her here, but we're still going to thank her. Yes, you can record it. Just don't sell it on Amazon. But a very special thanks to Rose, who organized the evening and set the place up. And I don't see her here. You can't hear in the back? Maybe you're not listening. Let me see. Wait a minute. Okay. How about now? Better? Okay. Louder? Louder or higher? Okay, if you want to hear, just open your eyes. Open your ears. I was once invited to a lecture, and they offered to serve dinner while I talk, and I told them when my mouth is moving like this, the ears don't function well. So when you want to hear something, it's about listening. I always tell my kids to do something, and then when they don't do it, I say, "Why didn't you do what I told you?" You didn't say that. I didn't hear you. So I said, you didn't listen, not you didn't hear. So we hear things all day long, we just choose not to listen. That's a whole different thing. So don't worry, I pick up as I go. So first, a very special thanks to Rosie that organized the night, and thank you all for coming. And we chose a topic tonight that is very sensitive to everybody, because every person that I speak to, they feel like they don't have good luck, or that they did something and now God is punishing them, and how can I change my luck? And first, just to get one misconception out, is God doesn't punish anyone. God is not a third grade teacher that will smack you on your hand because you talked and will put you in timeout. This is not God. God doesn't punish anyone, rather you punish yourself. And I know there's the teachings of Maimonides, of Rambam, was saying that there is the concept in the Torah of sachar ve'onesh, of a reward and a punishment. But really, God tells me what to do. He gave me a book. The book is a manual. You use this manual and you'll be fine. It's basically giving me a list of advice. And if I'm now going to bang my head at the wall, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to get a headache. Because there's a reaction to every action that I do. And if my action is a positive action, then the reaction will be positive. And if my action is a negative action, then the reaction is going to be negative. That's how it works in this world. And when people say God is punishing me, God is not punishing anybody. Rather, He tells you, you did a stupid action, excuse my language, you're going to get a reaction. That's how it is. Try it once. Wake up in the morning, smile to somebody, and you'll see that most likely that person will smile back at you. And on the other hand, be mean to somebody, you'll see that most likely that's the reaction you're going to get. So what I put out there is usually what I get. So first of all, it's extremely important to understand, because a lot of people have a very big misconception about God. God is the ultimate good. God is not a person sitting in the heavens. Sometimes you tell people the word God, they imagine this old man sitting with a long beard in the heavens, giving orders, throwing people into hell. That's not how it is. God is the source of life. It doesn't have a shape, it doesn't have an image, it doesn't have anything that we can relate with. If I have to compare God to anything, which I can't, but just to understand, let's compare God for 1 second to the sun. So the sun is a floating ball of fire somewhere in space that is radiating light, and I can't do anything to affect the sun. Doesn't matter what I'm going to do. 7 billion people are on this planet. Nobody can do anything that will affect the light of the sun. The sun is constantly projecting light. If I move away from the sun, then I'm going to go into darkness. If I'm going to be in a room and I'm going to start closing the shades, closing the windows, closing the drapes, I'm the one who's turning off the light right now. I'm the one who's segregating the light for coming in. The sun did not get diminished. The power of the sun did not change. I'm the one who removed myself from the light of the sun. This is kind of the same idea with God. Can't compare God to anything, but God constantly shines, and if I move away, then I'm going to be left in the dark. And if I come closer, then I benefit from the light. Now the way the system works, just to give a very quick overview, because the bottom line is that we want to know how we can control our destiny or our luck. And again, luck, in the word in Hebrew, is called Mazal. It's not the luck that you want to have when you go to Vegas. It's a whole total different thing, which we're going to talk about it tonight, Bezrat Hashem. But we're going to make, first of all, a short overview of the system, the spiritual system, how it works. So for us to understand how I can actually later on relate with my mazal. So first we have to understand that our soul is built from 5 components, from 5 levels. The highest level of the soul is called Yechidah. Yechidah, it means unity. It comes from the word in Hebrew, Yichud, not Yachid. Yachid in Hebrew is one, single. But Yichud is a very strong unity. This piece of the soul that is called Yechidah is 100% connected to Hashem, to God. You can't separate it. Doesn't matter what you're going to do, that piece is a piece of Hashem. The next level, 1 level down, is called Chaya. Chaya is also called in the Kabbalistic term Tselem. If you remember in the book of Genesis, in the book of Bereshit, it says, B'tselem Elokim nivra Adam. In the image of God, man was created. That's what gives us not our shape, rather the resemblance to the master of the universe. This tselem, this chaya, is a very holy part of our soul that cannot penetrate into the body. Some people call it an aura. We call it, the Kabbalistic term to that, it's called or mekif, a surrounding light, something that cannot come in. It's too holy, it's too great. It cannot even fit into the body. These 2 pieces of our soul are very unique and separated pieces from the entire part of the soul, and these 2 pieces are in the world above. Then we have another 3 levels of our soul that are called Neshama, Ruach, and Nefesh. Neshama is the highest level, then Ruach, then Nefesh. These 3 pieces, they penetrate into our body. The Nefesh is in our blood. That's why you see that anywhere in your body that you're going to poke your body, you'll see blood is going to come out. Because the Nefesh is the spiritual entity that enlivens my body, that makes my body alive. If you take now the Nefesh out of the body, that's when a person dies. If you take the Neshama or the Ruach out of the body, then person can still be alive. That's what happens when we go to sleep. When we go to sleep, our soul are the level of neshama and the level of ruach, they leave the body, they go up to the heavens, and the nefesh stays in the body. That's why it's called nefesh chaya, an alive soul, and it dwells in the blood. If you notice, and if you don't, look it up or ask a doctor, our blood has a certain temperature. And if you would look into the anatomy of the veins, you'll see that the blood is not filling at 100% of the void in the vein. It will only fill up maybe 60, 70%, and there's going to be some type of a gap, some place of air. In the space, since the blood is constantly bubbling, there's a place for vapor. There's vapor going up from our blood. And the nefesh is the connection between the physical and the spiritual. That's where the nefesh dwells. Now the nefesh, which is the lowest level of our soul, it holds the mold of the body. The body is built on the nefesh. You know, somebody took me here, not this time, last time I was in Los Angeles, they took me to some street here, where all the stars, they put their hands on the floor, and there's like stars, you know what I'm talking about, right? Hollywood. So, and I was looking and I was like, look how funny, like you see the shape of the hand because they pressed it into the cement. This is called a mold. So the nefesh is the mold from my body, which means that my nefesh, I get my shape because the nefesh looks like that. So this is a lower level of our neshama that has some type of a shape, because a neshama, a soul, is a spirit, has no shape. The nefesh actually has a shape, and the body is built on the nefesh. That's why when you dream on somebody, if you notice, dreams are very, very weird, because in dreams you don't really see. You don't use your eyes when you dream. If you notice, there's not even sounds in dreams. There's no language in a dream. You have an understanding. It's not even a vision, it's an understanding. I understand, an awareness. But every now and then in a dream, there'll be a very powerful awareness and you'll see a face, a familiar face. I'm sure it happened to you that you dream, and you dream that you're with your father, it's not even your father. Or you dream you're in your home, it's not even your home. It just looks different. But every now and then you'll see an image of a face. That's because the nefesh has a resemblance to the mold of the body. And the nefesh dwells in the body, and it dwells in the blood. And again, that's why everywhere you're going to poke in your body, you'll see blood will come out. The story says that when Cain killed Abel, he didn't know how to kill him. He wanted to kill him, but he didn't know how. He knew that he needs to get the nefesh out of the body. So the Midrash says that he stabbed him 300 times. 300 times he stabbed him because he didn't know from where the nefesh will come out. But the reality is that if a person medically loses a certain quota of blood, he dies, because the majority of the nefesh left the body. So the nefesh is the lowest level of our soul. That's the level that we most correspond to. Now the next level is called ruach. Ruach will be translated as spirit. What enlivens us, what gives us the ability to be alive. That's why we talked about it in the last couple of lectures, that we don't even notice, but what keeps us alive is breathing. Some of you attended the lecture yesterday and the lecture last week, and we talked about the breathing, that if I don't breathe, I can go without food for a couple of days, I can go without sleeping for a couple of days, but I can't go without air for more than 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. The air is what sustains me. And if I don't have air, then I will die. Same thing in the spiritual level. If I don't have connection, a spiritual air, which is my connection to God, then I suffocate, spiritually suffocate. So this level of the neshama, which is called ruach, spirit, that's what enables me to have life. Then the next level up is called neshama. Neshama is the soul. And this is already a much higher level of the soul. But these three levels of the soul, neshama, ruach, and nefesh, are in my body. For the ones of you who were in the lecture yesterday and last week when I talked about my own near-death experience, and I explained that right before I died, that I knew I'm about to die. And I always say I knew that I'm about to die and I quote that people ask me, how do you know you're about to die? And I explain that the Zohar teaches that 40 days before a person dies, it's announced in the heavens that that individual is about to die. 30 days before the person dies, this piece that is called Chaya, the Tselem, which is built from thousands and thousands of components. The way to know how many pieces my Tselem have is how many days I'm alive. If a person lived till the age of 80, take 80, divide that in 365, plus the days of the leap years, and the amount that you're going to get, probably like 40, 50,000, that's the amount of pieces that the Tselem has. And for our terminology to understand what it means, take now a picture with a digital camera, and then put it on the computer and enlarge the picture, and you'll see the pixels. And when you're looking at the pixels, nothing makes sense. You'll see a brown square, a yellow square, an orange square. They don't make sense. When you minimize it and put it together, now you suddenly see a picture. This is kind of equivalent to the Tselem, to this fourth level of the Neshama, or I should say more the second level if you're counting from the top. So it's built from thousands of pieces. Every day I'm supposed to refine one piece. When I come down to this world, I get a whole list of things that I need to do. And every day I'm supposed to refine one piece of this Tselem by doing good acts, by being kind to another person, by following the commandments of the Torah. Doesn't matter if I'm a Jew or not a Jew, the Torah is for everybody. And every day I'm supposed to refine one piece of my Tselem. And if I did, when I go to sleep, my soul, my neshama, and my ruach, they go up to the heavens to do a list of things. The first thing that I need to do when I go up to the heavens at night, then exactly like when my phone dies at the end of the day, I plug it in, then my soul has to go up there to get plugged in. At the end of the day, the reason why you're tired is not because you worked hard, and not because you had a long day. You're tired because your soul is tired. It reached its capacity, what it can do that day. It ran out of energy. And the proof to that is that you see sometimes people, they're up for 2-3 days. I don't get tired. I sleep an hour a night, 2 hours maybe, because my body has nothing to do with my soul. I get my energy from my soul, not from my body. Of course, the body needs some fuel, needs good nutrition, but the sleep has nothing to do with me being tired or not. If my soul is charged and I have the right energy, I'm not going to get tired. So when you come to the end of the day and you think you're tired because you worked hard, no, because your soul, the energy of the soul got deflated. You lost all your energy. You reached your maximum capacity of what the soul can handle for that day. Usually you lose all your energy during the day, not because you were worked hard. Our body is a nuclear reactor of energy. You wake up in the morning, you're just going to smile to another person, you did a mitzvah of Ahavat Israel, you now produced 5 billion megabytes of energy. If you're going to wake up now in the morning and you pray for 5 minutes, you put tefillin, a man puts tefillin on, he produces 5 trillion megabytes of energy. And every day I produce energy by doing acts, good acts. The problem is that most people don't know how to contain their energy. They'll do a list of good acts. They'll give some charity, they'll help another person. But in most cases, all this good energy that I create, if I don't know how to contain it, then like a flat tire, it all goes out. So I can now produce a lot of energy, I'm hyped up with a lot of energy, and then I'll go and lie, or I'll cheat, or I'll curse, or whatever it is, and all the energy goes out. So I'm producing energy all the time, but I'm not holding it. And then comes the end of the day, and throughout the day I lie 50 times, and I cheat 50 times, and I judge people the wrong way, and I lose my anger, and I'm not talking about going and killing somebody, I'm talking basic things that we all do every day. All my system is full of holes, all the energy goes out. I'll be tired at the end of the day. Sometimes you're tired already in the middle of the day, so you start going to Starbucks and taking shots, like as if that's going to make a difference. Most people, they lose their energy by 11 o'clock in the morning. They're already tired, and they don't understand why I'm tired, because my system has no defense to hold all this energy, as all the energy goes out. The worst from that I become vulnerable to other people's energy. So I will talk to another person, and that person will suck on my energy. Sometimes I talk to someone, they tell me, I can't hang out with her. She sucks all my energy. That friend, she literally wipes me out. She tires me out. He, it doesn't matter. I have nothing against the women. Even though they really know how to suck that. But the point is that many people, they are very easily suck your energy. When I'm going on these trips, and even not on trips, or even back home, I dedicate about 5 to 7 hours a day that I do personal meetings, counseling, over the phone, Skype, face-to-face. And it's not that I'm meeting cheerful people. They're telling me how happy they are. It's usually all the trouble of the entire world. And sometimes my wife will cross the room or something, or would listen. She's like, how do you all day long listen to people's problems, and it doesn't even affect you? How can you see 20 people, one after the other, and they all come to you, and this guy is sick, and that guy lost his money, and that guy, his wife's cheating on him, and everybody comes with all these problems, and how does it not affect you? How don't you get depressed yourself? Because I know how to contain my energy. Nobody can come and take my energy. That's why most people are sad and depressed, and they have anxiety and they're anxious, because people suck their energy. So now I'm running on air. I'm not even running on my own energy. So I'm a mass producer. I'm like a nuclear reactor of producing energy. A small act that I do, I produce all this energy. But if I'm going to go now and make one type of any sin, all the air goes out, all the energy goes out. And what will be the effect? Physically, I'll be tired. Physically, I'll be very jumpy and agitated and upset, and I lose my temper. And that's why you drive in the street here, somebody cuts you off right away, some words fly out of your mouth. Why? Why? I never understood that. Somebody cuts you off and you start shooting all these words. Shem Yerachem, these words. You just curse that person with all the diseases. You should die and your mother should burn. And what is the mother going to do with him? Sometimes I drive, I take a cab, and somebody on the road, it cuts him out or something, and the curses. I never understood that. You should get cancer in your head. What is this your business now? You need this medical record now? Where does it come from? Why would somebody now outburst in such anger and hate? Because the body is irritated and agitated. More than that, it will cause the person to be sad, depressed, heavy, lonely. It's not, nowadays, literally, I'm not chas v'shalom making fun of anybody, but 90% of the world is depressed. I'm not chas v'shalom, I'm not attacking anybody, I'm not putting anybody down. It's just because people don't know how to contain their energy in a healthy way, so it's affecting them. Now, we're totally sidetracked, but comes the end of the day, I'm wiped out. I just want to crash on the sofa already. I just want to pass out on the bed. If you listen to a lot of my lectures, you see that I constantly repeat the concept of saying Kriyat Shema al Amita at night, the bedtime Shema. This is like the wonder power of all the problems. And everybody tells me, comes already 11 o'clock at night. I barely can talk. I just want to just kamikaze on the bed. Telling me now to read a 15-minute prayer? So what happens is that at the end of the night, I'm so weak and tired. It's not because I worked hard, not because somebody annoyed me, because my soul is depleted to the minimum of the minimum of the minimum. The battery of my soul is completely out. There's nothing there. There's no energy. But if I know how to contain the energy, I don't need to sleep much. I come from the city of Mekubalim, of Kabbalah. Our master, our teacher, the holy Arizal, he never slept. The story says that he used to put his head down like this for a few seconds, and that's it. Still get his thoughts together, and that's it. And not that I'm trying to compare myself to anybody. I don't sleep much. And not because I'm busy, because I need an hour. An hour is good. 2 hours. Why? Because the soul is energized. Nothing is taking my energy, and I'm containing the energy. And we're going to talk about it a lot, because that's what has to do with this Mazal. And again, Mazal has nothing to do with luck in Vegas. We're going to get to that in a minute. So when I go to sleep at night, my soul, first of all, needs to get charged. The more it depleted, or I don't know if that's the right word to say, the more it ran out of energy, the more it will have to stay up there. That's why you see sometimes people, they sleep for 13 hours. You need like a bulldozer to get them out of bed. Now, if you know how to prepare yourself before you go to sleep, then you don't even need to sleep too much. You know, the proof to you, if your soul went to the right place at night, is how you wake up in the morning. If you wake up after 5 hours full of energy, then you know your soul went to a good place that night. If you wake up after 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours of sleep, and you wake up tired and sad and depressed and heavy, your soul was not traveling to the right place at night. It went to the wrong place. Now, we're totally sidetracked, but it's important to know. So when I go to sleep, my soul, my neshama and the ruach, they go up there. A, to get charged. B, they write a journal. That after 120 years, when I go up, they show me, here, you wrote your entire life. You know, I gave you before the example, I talked about it yesterday and the day before. I constantly talk about it because that's the mother of all flat tires in the spiritual world, is the concept that is called a lie. Shekel. The world above is called Olam HaEmet, the world of truth, because there's no such a thing as a lie in the world above. There's only one reality up there. In this world, the Holy Book of Zohar calls this world Olam HaSheker, Alma Deshikra, the world of deception. Everything here is a lie. And even people come up with all these excuses. It's a white lie. A white lie. I want to know who is the board that sat together and decided that a lie is going to be white. Why couldn't it be blue? I want to say a blue lie. Green lie is a little bit worse than a blue. Red lie is like the worst. Who invented this white lie? A lie is a lie. You know, exaggerating is a lie. Now, why is a lie one of the worst sins in the book? God cannot stand liars, because He created a reality, and now you're coming and distorting the reality. And you're saying, I'm not happy with what you created. I have to distort it. Besides the fact, and we're going to talk about it a lot, that when a person lies, he removes himself from the reality of the truth of the Master of the universe. And I told it so many times, I'm just going to repeat it again and again till you get the point. 7 years ago, Bezat Hashem, in a month, we're going to celebrate Yom Kippur, the Day of Repentance. 7 years ago, I came back from the synagogue. After 25 hours, I was in the synagogue. There's no point of really coming home. There's no meals. There's nothing to do. Better to sit in the synagogue and just pray. So I came back. After we put the kids to sleep, my wife and me sitting and having a cup of tea. And I tell her, did you make a new resolution for this coming year? And she tells me, yes, I decided to start praying. I decided to do this and that. And then she tells me, do you have a resolution? I said, yes, I decided this year to stop lying. I mean, you? You don't lie. I said, oh, I lie. I lie all day long. I lie to everybody around me. And then I have the chutzpah and I lie to God, like as if He doesn't know. And worse of that, I lie to myself. And I decided to stop lying. So I went and invested a whole $1 and bought a little notebook. And every time that I said a lie, I wrote the lie and the time. And at night, when I sat down on bed and I read Kriyat Shema Lamita, the bedtime Shema, I pulled out this horrible notebook to find 40, 50, 60 lies every day. Nonsense. Real nonsense. Not big lies. Sometimes you're driving to a meeting, you see the GPS tells you you're going to be there in 20 minutes. Customer's on the phone. Where are you? I'm there in 5 minutes. No, you're not, you liar. The GPS says it's 20 minutes. Just say, I'm sorry, I left late. I'm going to be late. I'm very sorry. Why are you now covering it up with, I'm there in 5 minutes? And then after that, don't ask, there was so much traffic. There wasn't any traffic. Why are you lying? Now, if you really monitor yourself, you'll see that all day long. That's what we do. And I said, you know what? I don't want one lie coming out of my mouth. You know, in the religious world, people are fanatic about what goes into their mouth. They will check with magnifying glasses, leaves, to see that a microscopic bug is not crawling on that leaf. I'm not joking. Go to a kosher restaurant, you'll see what they do. They're washing with lights. They're looking like this. Not too long ago, I was at somebody's house. They gave me a date. I opened the date and I go like this to see in the light, to see if I see a worm. She was like, are you out of your mind? What is this psychotic person looking? So, people go fanatic of what goes into their mouth. But what goes out of our mouth? They're 405, 7-lane highway. Just no restrictions. Lying, cursing, cheating. We're not going to go through the whole list. But that's the mother of all damages. And lying is one of the worst things to destroy my wall of protection, of my spiritual protection. So why am I telling you all that? Because I used to write down the lie, and my mind would be blown away with what nonsense I was lying on. I was like, why would I say that lie? It's irrelevant. It's nonsense. What, are you embarrassed of something? Everybody now, it's popular, everybody's exaggerating, adding. Somebody climbed on a mountain, 7 miles. It was 1 mile. Why are you pretending now 7 miles? That's when you lie to yourself. And the worst is when you lie to yourself, because you put yourself in the wrong perspective. And why am I telling you all that? Because I used to write it, and when you write it, you actually understand what you did. That's why you see in Jewish tradition, we write a lot. You go to a grave of a tzaddik, you write. Because when you put it in writing, you're actually bringing it down to the reality. Now when the soul goes up at night, it writes a journal. I woke up in the morning, I lied here, I cheated there, I cursed here. Then after 120 years, they tell you, this is what you did. This is the records that we have. More than that, the soul goes to testify in other court cases in the world above. But mainly what the soul goes up to is to take that peace that I talked about, the tselem, that daily peace, that daily pixel, goes to deliver it up. Now, if you didn't do anything that day, anything positive that day, then it's like AT&T. It rolls over to the next day. So now you have 2 pieces to refine. And if you didn't do that, then it will roll over to the 3rd day, and now you have 3 pieces to refine. That's why you see that sometimes people at some point in their life, they want to get their act together. They want to become a better person. Oh, now challenges from here till tomorrow. They can't handle it, the weight, because I can only handle 1 at a time. Now you're giving me a whole year full of these pieces to refine and to elevate. Then it becomes much, much harder. That's why you see that people have a lot of struggle when it comes to working on themselves. They want to get rid of a bad character trait. It's almost impossible. You know, when I became religious, I mean, now I look like a nice guy. If you would meet me 16 years ago, you wouldn't find such a nice guy. And it took me a lot of years to refine myself. Not to do the mitzvot, not to do the commandment, to refine myself. Stop being angry. Stop being judgmental. Stop cursing. Stop bullying other people. Stop creating frictions and fights and gossiping. And all day long we're busy with all this junk. And that's refining my soul. Now when I come to refine myself, the reality is that we all share a lot of character traits. And one character trait that we all have is a character trait that's called anger. We all have anger. Some people, they get angry like that. Some people, they're a little bit, slower to get angry. But every person has a certain line where you cross it and that's it. Some people, the anger is on a daily basis. That's a character trait. It's something that I'm born with and I have to refine it. And the more I neglected it, the harder it will be to refine it. So really at night, my soul goes up to the heavens to deliver this peace that I refined. And then this level of the soul that is called neshama, it's entered into a very high realm, and it gets joined with the chaya and the yechidah, the highest levels of our neshama. Mainly that's where it draws its energy. That's why if I did not do what I'm supposed to do the entire day, if all my day was focusing on cheating and lying and cursing and tricking other persons and judging other people and the whole list, I'm just giving you a few, then the soul cannot go up. It's like an air balloon that it's nailed to the ground, and in order for the air balloon to go up, you have to release all the nails. That's one of the many reasons why we say the bedtime Shema is you do tshuva. You clear it out so the soul can go up. And if the soul goes up at night to its source, then it gets replenished. That's why it comes back to this world. We say in Hebrew, kochot mechudashim, renewed energy and power. You wake up in the morning, the Torah says, bria chadasha, a new creation. I was created again. That's if I did everything good at night, and that's when, if everything went right when I was sleeping. And if I don't wake up like that, it means that something went wrong during the time when I was sleeping, or my preparation when I went to sleep. Now, why this whole preparation, this whole introduction is so important? Because the level of the soul that is called yechidah, the highest level of the soul, it's connected to the master of the universe. It's like a general. It sits in the war room and it sees everything from above. I was in the Israeli army and I started as a regular soldier. And sometimes you're sitting somewhere and the commander says, go over there. Okay, we go over there. 2 minutes later, no, go over there. But you just said to go over there. Shh, orders. And you don't understand. As a soldier, you don't understand. Attack here. Go over there. You don't understand. But you take orders. Because you know that somewhere there's going to be a commander, and on top of that commander there's a colonel, and on top of that colonel there's a general, and the generals are all sitting in the war room and they see everything from above. They don't see you as a soldier. They see battalions, 20,000 soldiers. Okay, move that battalion over here. Move this battalion over there. Same thing, this piece of the soul, the yechidah, is sitting in the headquarters and it sees everything from above. Now, when it sees everything from above, it sees the plans of the master of the universe. We all have plans. You can call it a destiny. You can call it however you want to call it. But God has a plan for us. There's a sketch. Now, before I'm even born, everything is decided. Who I'm going to marry, how many kids I'm going to have, where I'm going to live. But what is decided is the general idea, the major plan, and the little details, that's for me to decide. When I was trying to explain that not too long ago to somebody, they couldn't understand what I'm talking about, and I tell them, listen, if you build such a building, look at this beautiful room. When they built it, they made a foundation around the room. I'm not an engineer, but probably there's some type of beams that are holding this entire ceiling. But look at this room. 2,000 or 3,000 square feet of a big, large room. Now I can take this room now and leave it as a one big room. Now I can't really move the poles, I can't move the foundation, but I can actually come to this room now and I can build here 20 rooms. I can divide now this room however I want. The foundation, the structure is the same, but the breakdown inside is it's depending on me. I can have here 2 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 20 bedrooms, 1 room. I can do whatever I want here, as long as I have the foundation. Before I'm born, what is decided is this foundation. Where I'm going to live, how many years I'm going to live, who's going to be my wife, who are going to be my kids, where I'm going to live, all these little things. But in between, the rooms, so to say, that's really up to me. I can start forming and designing it. Now, if you're looking at the plans, then you are able to see God's plan. If you're able to look at these plans. Now, all these plans of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, of Hashem, is sitting in the headquarters. Because when Hashem created us, when God created us, He decided everything to each and every one of us. The Midrash explains that when the mother and the father are together, the moment that the woman gets pregnant, There's nothing there yet. She just got pregnant. A certain angel comes down, takes the drop, goes with that drop to the Master of the universe, and says, God, this drop, what's going to be its destiny? What's going to happen with this drop? Drop mean because it's not even an embryo, it's not even a body, there's nothing, it's just a drop now. And the angel asks, is he going to be rich? Is he going to be poor? Is he going to be tall? Is he going to be short? Is he going to be brave? Is he going to be what? And the Midrash says, everything is up to Hashem, akol bidei shamayim, besides yirat shamayim, chutz miyirat shamayim. Hashem decides everything, besides it gives that individual the option of choosing whether to fear Hashem, not to fear, to tremble, rather to respect, or not. So it's basically up to us. Now, all this information is sitting in the headquarters above. Mazal comes from the word in Aramaic, nazil. Nazil means to drip. In Hebrew, when you have a leak, it's called nezilah. Something nozel. When you have a running nose, it's called nozelet. Something drips. The acronym of Mazal has 3 letters, Mem, Zayin, and Lamed. Mem stands for Makom, space. The Zayin stands for the word Zman, time. And Lamed stands for Limud, for Limud means to learn, what I take from. Every situation in my life, I learn something. If I don't learn from every situation in my life that I wasted 5 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour, every situation in my life is for me to learn something. To take from it information, dissect it, and learn some type of a lesson from that. So the word mazal comes from the word linzol, to drip, because what happens is that sometimes in that level of the yechidah, there's a nezilah, a drip. Some information is coming down, it's trickling down. And whatever is receiving it can hold that information. That's kind of where we have dreams. Because what happens is at night, your soul goes up to the heavens, it sees everything, it remembers the information, then it starts coming down through the spiritual worlds. The first spiritual world that we know of is called Olam HaAtzilut, the world of emanation, even though we know of many other spiritual worlds above that. But the 4 known ones are Atzilut, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiyah. Atzilut is the world of emanation, then comes down another world called Bria, of creation, then the world of Yetzirah, formation, and then the world of Asiyah, the doing, the action. Between the world of Atzilut and the world of Bria stands an angel and slaps you on your way down to forget what you saw. And then it comes down into the body. I'm joking when I'm saying slapping, but the angel kind of shakes the soul that you don't remember all the information you saw. And then it comes down to you in a dream. And right before you wake up, there are 4 types of dreams. I have a very interesting lecture online about dreams. What are dreams? Where do they come from? How to understand the dreams. The dreams that you dream right when you fall asleep, this is complete nonsense. It's just all the junk in your head. You know, sometimes you fall asleep, you sleep for like 3 seconds. Wow, I had such a dream. So all this is just the junk in your head. The dreams throughout the night, that's also all the thoughts that are gathered in your mind throughout the day, they're all put together, and that's why these dreams are usually weird. That's when usually people get their nightmares. But the dreams in the early hours of the day, and the dreams right before you wake up, these are the real dreams. And usually 2%, 3%, 5% of the dream is going to be real. It's real information, just scribbled. So you don't understand what it means. The more you refine yourself, the more you don't have anything that is impure. You don't lie, you don't cheat, all these things, the dreams are clear. And then there are prophetic dreams. And you see the dream and you understand, you get a message from the dream. Because it depends already how refined that person. If the person is very refined, then the angel that kind of shakes the soul, that's not such a strong shake. And then you get a lot of information from your dreams. That's why you see that all the prophets, they always get their prophecy in their sleep. The only prophet that would speak face to face with God was Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu would speak to Hashem when he was alive, when he was awake. All the rest of the prophets would get their prophecy at night, when they sleep. So we're all can reach a level of prophecy, If I really work on myself, I refine myself, my diet is 100% perfect because my diet is extremely crucial to my connection to the Master. And everything that I do is based on truth and integrity and humility. Humility from the word of being humble, not to just humiliate myself in front of people. Then my soul gets refined, sharp like a razor. And then the information that comes from above is very sharp and clear. That's why you see the more the person is refined, the dreams that he gets at night, he or she, are much more clear because they're prophetic dreams. And if the person is not, then the dreams will be just one big salad, a mishmash of information. And then of course nothing makes sense. And hear a word or hear a face, and then you can't make ends meet. It doesn't make sense even. So what happens is that all this information, it leaks down from the headquarters down the chain, so to say, to my soul. I'm sure you all once experienced the concept that is called Deja Vu. I've been here. I've been here. So you're not crazy. It's a spark, because your neshama saw already the plan and it forgot. And then for whatever reason, there are many different reasons why, but for whatever reason, suddenly you get the spark and, oh, I remember that. So for 3 seconds, I was here. I remember the scene. And then it evaporates away. So don't think you're crazy. I don't know how to call it in any other language. I mean, everybody knows Deja Vu. But the reality is that everybody has them. Some people have them a lot, some people have them less. The truth is that it's totally natural, it's totally normal. When a person is very, very refined, they don't have the Deja Vu, once a week. They constantly, they see everything in a way that, this is familiar. Now, when the Yechidah, when the soul is holding all this information, it's basically holding my destiny, my Mazal. Why do we call it Mazal? First of all, there's a lot of question, is in Judaism, do we really believe in luck? What do you mean luck? That's why I said the luck is not what I go to Vegas and I play the roulette. That's not luck. Rather, I have a roadmap. God already planned my roadmap. I have the ability to tap into it, or not to tap into it, or to distort the information on the way. That's already in my control. Now, really, in order for me to change my luck, again, and we'll use the word mazal, not luck, we're going to talk about that in a minute. First, I have to understand how I relate with it. Now, I gave you the example before of the sun. That the sun, doesn't matter what you're going to do, you're not going to change or affect anything in the sun. The fact that I'm moving away from the sun, I'm just getting myself away from the light. Now forget even the sun. Look now at the microphone. Now I'm talking to the microphone, you can hear me. If I'm going to move away, you're not going to hear me the same. So the same idea here is that I'm the one who I remove myself from the spotlight, so to say, from my destiny, from my mazal. How do I do that? By cutting the chain, that through that chain I get all my, what's called shefa, abundance. Now I explained many times, I'm just going to repeat it very fast. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says in the Zohar that between my soul and God, there's a spiritual rope that connects my soul to God. Now, the same way that the physical rope is built from many thin strings, then this spiritual rope is built from 620 strings. Spiritual strings. Now, 620 corresponds to 613 mitzvot in the Torah and 7 mitzvot from our sages. Now, if I follow these channels, if I now connect these channels, the reaction will be that the abundance that I'm supposed to get, I have a clear path. And if I choke it, or I suffocate it, or I cut it, then I'm stopping from this abundance to come to me. If I'm a business owner, I will accept cash, checks, American Express, MasterCard, PayPal, gold, camels, whatever you want, just pay. I don't know any businessman that says, you know what, I just want to get checks. Yeah, but you're losing 90% of the markets of credit cards. No, I don't want credit cards. So who suffered from that? You, because now you cut off 90% of the payment forms. You want to have all the payment forms. Somebody comes and presents an American Express, we take. MasterCard, I accept. PayPal, sure. Why? Because I want to make sure that in any type of channel throughout I can get my sustenance, then it's there. These are these channels that I'm supposed to create. The abundance, the shefa, this energy that comes to me from above, from God, has to come through these channels. They don't come from one channel. One channel, I call it channels, but one channel comes my sustenance, my money, my parnasa. Another channel, my health. Another channel, my common sense. Another channel, me being happy, my happiness. If I start choking all these channels or cutting them, then the abundance is not coming to me. Now what happens is, now I'm trying to go from the back door and says, let me change my luck. My luck is not good. Who said your luck is not good? Your behavior is not good, not your luck. If you would have now a direct line to God, He would tell you, your luck is perfect. There's nothing wrong with your luck. What's wrong is your behavior. You are now choking the channels, the streams where you get what I'm supposed to give you. You move away from the sun. If I'm moving away from the sun, I can't complain to the sun. Let me change the sun. You can't change the sun. Just move closer. That's how it is. So we're going to separate now into two options. A is leaving the luck as it is, trusting that God wants to give me what I'm supposed to get, but changing my actions. If I change my actions, by default, the abundance that I'm supposed to get is going to be completely different. In a minute, I'm going to talk about changing the luck. But let's first concentrate on staying with what I have. There's a Mishnah, a teaching, an oral teaching that says, Ezu ha'ashir hasameach bechelko. Who is a rich person? The one that is happy with his portion. When I'm happy with my own portion, doesn't matter what it is right now. I'm happy with my wife, I'm happy with my kids, I'm happy with the apartment that Hashem gave me, I'm happy with my job. If I'm happy with what I have, I appreciate what I have, that's what I'm creating the channel, the option for Hashem to start giving me. If I'm whining all day long, Hashem doesn't want to give me nothing. Not that Hashem is stopping from giving me. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that Hashem is now being angry, saying, I'm not going to give you. I'm the one who's choking the channel. Baruch Hashem, I have 6 kids. They're all very, very sweet and I love them all the same, but they have different character traits. One kid is very happy with anything that I'll give him. When I come home from these trips, I'm super dad. My wife shops on Amazon. She ships it to the last destination where I'm taking off from. The poor family that gets the 60 boxes from Amazon, they're all like, every time like, can I send you a few things? Yeah, no problem. And then they have like trucks of boxes, and then the night before the flight I have to pack everything. But I'm like super dad. I didn't do anything. I just come home with like 4 suitcases, and my kids are like, wow, this unbelievable dad. He didn't go to give lectures. He went to buy all the presents. So one kid is very happy with what I give him. He doesn't complain. He's just happy. The other one is a sweet kid, but you bought me the blue? Oh, is that model? The Sonys are better. Just say thank you that I went out on my way and I bought you something. No, everybody has that color. And it's not that he's a bad boy, he just doesn't know how to appreciate what he gets. And again, there's nothing wrong with him, he's an amazing boy. But we all have these character traits. And when I'm happy, and you know what, the boy that always says thank you, gives me more, I desire to bring him more. And the other one that complains, who wants to hear whining all day long? Nobody likes whining. Also God doesn't like when we whine. God says, ask once, twice, that's it. Don't whine all day long. Don't cry and nag and Hashem doesn't like that. But again, Hashem doesn't have these feelings that he gets upset at you. Rather, this type of behavior narrows down the ability of the energy to come flowing at you. That's why when the teaching says, who's the rich person, the one who's happy with with his portion, is that you humble yourself and you accept what is given to you. The more you humble yourself and you accept what is coming to you, good or bad, that's when you actually open the option of getting, of receiving. When we are very judgmental, narrow-minded, angry, all these things, and then comes all these bad things of lying. Lying is like the ultimate butcher knife that cuts completely the cord. Because again, I told you, you're taking Hashem's reality and you're distorting it. God doesn't like that. So the first department that we want to talk about is not changing my luck, is rather refining the channels through this abundance is coming from, and you'll see that you were blessed with a lot of things way beyond what you thought. In 3 weeks, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the year. The reality, it's not even the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year is the first day of the month of Nisan. That's why we call it Rosh Hashanah, not Chilat Hashanah. Chilat Hashanah is in Hebrew the beginning, and Rosh means head. Rather means that on the first day of Tishrei, the head is the brain. That's where everything is held there. But on that day, we all stand, we call it Judgment Day. We stand in front of God, now with my files. And I'm going to, that day, everything in the next year will be decided for me. If you look at the text that we read in the prayers, it says who's going to be rich, who's going to be poor, who's going to be healthy, who's going to be not, who's going to die, chas v'shalom, who's going to live. That's the day that it's all decided. If you would have some type of a way to read that record, you would see that you were blessed with so much. Just that I'm on the receiving end, stopped this abundance from coming to me. I'm the one to blame. So really I don't need to look how to change my luck. Rather I need to know how to refine the channels, these tubes, that will be completely clear, not going to be any blockage or any dirt in between, that this abundance can come very, very clear, very fast, very good. You know, if you remember, I'm sure some of you do remember, 20 years ago when the internet first came out, remember how we had the connection to the internet? It was dial-up. Remember America, AOL, and the other one, don't even remember the name, but the connection was a dial-up connection. Remember, you would connect the computer, had this funny noise, like that. Remember? And it took about 10 minutes to send an email. And you would write the email and sit like this and see that line turning around. Oh, the email, I'm getting an email. I see something coming in. Literally, it would take 10 minutes to send an email. And that was like excitement. The whole family would sit down. Wow, who did she send the email to? Now, if the email is not going through within a fraction of a second, the computer goes out the window. Damage control. You know, people lose their mind because it didn't react within a fraction of a second. Now, don't even imagine, it wasn't even such a thing as downloading a movie, streaming a movie, or listening to music. It wasn't even such a thing. Now, we have broadband, we stream movies, send files. Why? Because the connection became broad, big. Once the connection was like a picky bag, we would go on a telephone line. We would ride on something else. So the connection was very poor. So the transfer of data was very slow. I wouldn't call it even a bad connection. It's not like a phone that you couldn't hear. It was take a long time to move the data from one side to another. Now you move the data fast from side to side. That's because the connection is broad. That's the whole thing. I don't need to change my mazal. I don't need to change my destiny. I need to broaden the channels through these channels that the energy come through. I can have the most amazing wife. If I have bad communication with her, she's going to annoy me. She's going to get me upset. I'm going to be wanting to come home. There's not going to be any chemistry. And she can be the best woman in the world. The problem is in me. I'm cutting off the communication. I am the problem. And that's the problem with most people, is that we create our own bad luck, so to say. It's not that there is bad luck or good luck. I create the screens that stop that abundance from coming. If I lie all day long, I'm going to stop any blessing from coming into my life. If I cheat, if I curse, if I slander, if I cheat in business, all these little things, what I do is I'm choking these channels. There's no broad, there's no band, there's nothing. There's just a very small connection. So what's going to happen? Then I'm not going to have success in my business. Money's not going to come my way. I'm not going to have a good relationship with my wife because there's no communication. My kids are not going to listen to me. They're not going to respect me. People in the world are not going to respect me. Or whatever it is. Not that I need respect. I'm just saying my entire reality changes suddenly. And the one who's responsible for that is me. Because our motion in this world is a motion of taking. We're all created with an ego, and the ego is what drives us is to constantly take. We are takers. I come into a relationship, what is it in for me? Business deal, how much money am I making here? Very few people then, when they come to a scenario, is like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? How can I make room for you? So the attitude is constantly about me and me and me. Where am I getting? He hurt my feelings. Sometimes I counsel couples. They come and sit with me. He hurt my feelings. I told you not too long ago I had like a long day full of meetings. One guy walks into me to the meeting and he tells me, Rabbi, my wife is driving me crazy. Can't handle her. 2 minutes later, he tells me, Rabbi, my boss, I hate him. He's bossing me around. He's this, he's that. Then 2 minutes later, my kids, they don't give me respect. They don't listen to me. And I have to listen to that for a whole half hour. Half an hour later, comes a different guy in, and he tells me, Rabbi, I have a problem with patience. I have no patience to my kids. Then he tells me, I have a problem with anger. I constantly get upset at my wife. And I have a problem with being judgmental, so I have a problem with my coworker. And I was like, wow, look what he's saying. He keeps saying, I have a problem. I have a problem with anger. I have a problem with being judgmental and I'm impatient. And I was like, wow, you got your answer. By understanding that you have the problem, not somebody else. So really when you want to look at it from a very universal way, you don't need to change your luck. There's nothing wrong with your luck. What is wrong is your behavior, not your luck. And if you want to be smart, you're not looking for ways to go like that, how to change my luck. Rather to say, what am I doing that I'm actually choking and cutting off these channels, that through these channels, the abundance that I'm supposed to get, I'm not getting. That's the way a person needs to think. Now, we're going to take a short break and to go to a different angle of saying there is actually a way to change your luck. Because what is really your luck? I told you the acronym is Zman, right? The Mem is Mazal, Makom, Zman, and Limud. Hashem puts me in a certain place, and He puts me in a certain time. You know, when Hashem wanted to create this world, He had to create two things: space and time. In the spiritual world, there's no such a thing as a space, and there's no such a thing as time. For the souls, for the angels. So when God wanted to create this world, He had to create two things: space, to put this world in, and time. So everything will be bound to time. Now comes the third element, is limud, is what am I learning from this situation? Hashem puts me in a situation, not to curse and to hit and to get upset, is to say, whoa, let me pause. Let me see what was going on here and let me learn something out of that. And if I apply something from what I learned, I get a V. I'm a winner. Somebody sent me not too long ago an unbelievable video online. Today videos are so amazing. And you see this video, it came in different versions. That you see two cars going. One car, you see a girl texting while she's driving. And in the other car, you see an older woman with a baby in the back. And then they're about to crash, and they stop. And they both go out of the car. You know that video? No? What, you're not on Facebook? I'm not on Facebook and I know the movie. Anyways, so their cars stop and they go out, and the more mature lady says, why are you texting while you're driving? She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't see. And they're kind of like arguing, and then she says, I'm sorry, it's too late. And they go back into the cars, and then the scene goes and they crash. The ad is like for not to text and drive, but there's like 3 or 4 versions of that video. But it's so smart because it's stopping the situation before the accident and analyzing it, so I can prevent something from happening and not letting the crash happen and then not learn anything out of that. So Hashem puts me in a certain space, in a certain time, and He says, okay, now I want you to learn something out of it, so you can, the battery's out? Oh. So you can learn, derive something out of it. So there is the option, if I look at it myself and I said, so to say, my behavior is pretty okay. Okay, nobody's ever perfect, but if I make an analogy and I say, oh, you know what, I'm kind of behaving okay, and still I feel that I'm kind of stuck, or that my luck is stuck, there is a way that a person can actually change their luck. And the only way of doing it is when I go out of my way and I give from myself to something else, to somebody else. And this is one of the most hardest things for a person to do. We're very, no, don't touch don't get close to me. Very few people, they know how to, how they say here, mi casa, su casa, my home is your home. Come in, come, sit, eat, take. What can I do for you? Our natural inclination is not to be a giver, rather to be a receiver. When I want to change, so to say, my mazal, is only if I take out of myself and I give to somebody else. I gave that example so many times, but I'm going to repeat it again, that Baruch Hashem, we have the zchut, the merit. We opened a beautiful women's center in Israel, where we have mature ladies, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, when they become observant, they want to learn Torah. They come to our center, and there's no such a thing really in the world, because younger ladies, they go to a seminary, they go to a place where they can learn. But we have a student, she's 78 years old. We have students in their 60s, and they want to learn. So with that, of course, comes a lot of responsibility and a lot of headaches. When I opened the center, everybody told me, are you out of your mind? You are going to be teaching 150 women? And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I have 150 mothers. Did you eat? Are you resting? I get messages from our students. Are you resting enough? How was your flight? I have a mother. I don't need another 140. So I have a lot of mothers. I come home in the morning. Did you sleep well? Did you have breakfast? You don't look so healthy. So I really didn't know what I'm getting myself into, teaching women, but older women. But anyways, they're amazing ladies. But the point is that one time was a night that unfortunately one of our students, her husband was abusing her, was becoming very violent, and she had to run away from the home, came to our house, 1 o'clock in the morning, knocking on the door. We had to hide her in our home. The police came. It was a whole scene. We had to be up to 4 or 5 in the morning. The husband was threatening and calls, and the police was there, and it was a whole night. Okay. The next day, since my night was not going so smooth, the next day I had to push a meeting in the morning to be a little bit later. And when the person told me, what happened? I told him, no, we had this lady over at night, and she slept on the couch, and there was a lot of problems, and I told him what happened. And he tells me, doesn't it bother you that this lady comes into your home and sleeps on your couch, invades your privacy, you don't sleep, police come to your home, the husband is threatening you, you don't mind all that? And I told him, I'd rather deal with somebody else's problems than deal with my problems. And I said, if I'm going to be busy dealing with everybody else's problems, then God is going to take care of my problems. Everybody has problems. Don't think that you're the only one. Everybody's like, oh, my problems are the worst. The reality is that everybody has problems, and if we would now put all the problems here on the table, nobody would want to switch problems. Everybody would be like, okay, let me stay with my problems. But the reality is that we all have problems. But I told that person, I rather deal with everybody else's problems, and I'm occupied with constantly giving and giving, then Hashem takes care of all of my business and all of my problems. And that's really when you want to, I don't like using the word changing your luck, but if you want to change, so to say, the plan from above, then you go completely out of your way to, your entire focus is how am I helping another person? And if your entire energy all day long is not what is in it for me, how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help this situation? I'm not saying it easy, I'm just giving you the tip. So when you want to look at it, you have to understand that I'm in 100% in control of everything. Yes, there is a percentage that a lot of people say, okay, so why do you see that person is sick and that person is suffering and that person, chas v'shalom, died when they were young? 10%, 15, 20% is just this, how it's supposed to be, and it doesn't matter what you're going to do. That's the decision from above, and that's what's going to happen. But the rest is totally up to me. If I am experiencing something negative in my life, most likely I'm the one who cooked it. That's how it is. That's why within the word Mazal, the last letter is Lamed, goes for Limud, because I don't learn from my own mistakes. If I repeat the same mistake over and over and over, then I'm the one who's going to suffer from that. So really I have to take responsibility and be very, very true. That's why I kept repeating before about the lying. You can't be successful in anything if your theme is about lying. And I'm not attacking anybody, and I'm not going to chas v'shalom saying anything bad about anybody. Lying is sometimes when you lie to yourself. To be 100% honest with yourself. To be able to lay the information on the table and say, that's the reality. I'm not happy with it, but that's the reality. And when you know how to be 100% honest with yourself, then you know how to present the situation, you know how to fix. So really when you want to look at how am I changing my luck, don't try to change it, just change yourself. Your luck is very good. God is very kind. He wants to give everybody health and sustenance and good communication and good relationship and everything. Hashem is not mean. Hashem is not sitting in Shamayim saying, okay, let me see, I'm going to torture her. That's not how it works. Hashem is the ultimate good. God only wants to be giving and giving and giving. And even if I make some bad action, it's not that now Hashem is upset. I'm not talking to you for the whole day. It's not how God reacts. So rather I have to, instead of trying to change my luck, is changing me. And I have to come once a day, look in the mirror, and be true to myself. You know, most people wake up in the morning, they look in the mirror, and they're like, wow. Look at that. Hashem really outdid himself here. That's the reality. We don't say it with words, but we look in the mirror, we're like brushing our teeth, and we're making all these poses, like as if, there's photographers on me. If somebody would come from the outside, be like, are you okay? And I can never do anything wrong. I mean, I'm like the epiphany of perfection. Everybody else is wrong. I'm the one that is right. Everybody has to get up when I come in. Nobody comes and stands in the mirror and says, you liar, you cheat, you steal, you take advantage, you get upset. So the reality is we have to look at ourselves, and I'm not chas v'shalom saying that I have to degrade myself and make myself a rag. But I have to be honest, and I have to look at the truth and say, okay, I can get better. I can get better here, I can get better here, I can get better there. So really what I want to focus on is changing my behavior. That's it, very simple. But when I want to add on that, it's only about how much can I give out from myself. And the more that I give out from myself, the more I make room to get more. That's how it works. And try that. It's not easy. But the more you give, but you have to give genuinely, not to give the check because you get the tax break. That's not how you give the charity. The charity you give because you want to. I'm going to tell you one story and we're going to finish just about the concept of the giving. There was once two merchants merchants a few hundred years ago. They were going from city to city and they made their business. On their way back home, it was already Friday. They knew they're about to, very soon will come Shabbat, and they saw that they're going to be very late. So they had to stop on the way. So they stop in some village and they start asking around, is there a Jew here, somewhere where we can spend Shabbat? So they told him, go to the end of the village and there's a Jew there. Okay, they come, they knock on the door. They tell him, listen, we're Jewish merchants. We need somewhere to spend Shabbat. We're stuck. Our next stop is so-and-so miles away. Can we stay by you? So he says, yes, I do have room. I do have kosher food, but I charge $10,000 a night. What? So they said, listen, you want it? No, it's fine. So they said, okay, the Shabbat is more important to us than money. Okay, so the whole profit from that trip will go to spend Shabbat here. Okay, they give him the money. Now they're saying, he charged us so much, let's make him work. The whole Shabbat, give me more towels. The food is not warm. Give me more food. Massage my foot. Do this, do that. The whole Shabbat, they were making him work. Comes the end of the Shabbat, they pack their bags and they leave. As they're going out, one of them opens his bag, and like the story with Binyamin and Yosef that he went out and he found the goblet, they open the bag and they see the money. They're like, what's going on here? They come back and they say, excuse me, there must be some type of problem. The money is back in our bag. So he says, yeah, I gave it back. And they're like, what? Why? So he says, listen, if I would not charge anything, you would be sitting in the room, quiet, you wouldn't want to bother me. The whole Shabbat, you would not come out, you would not ask for anything. What kind of hospitality would you make me do? What kind of achnasat tochim I would do? Therefore, I charge you a lot of money. Now you made me really work for the mitzvah. You really made me do my hospitality. Now take your money. I don't need your money. I just wanted the mitzvah to be genuine. So when it's time for me to give, it's not to give because something is sitting here, because I want to. Now I'm dealing with my own stress all day long, with my own problems all day long. Everybody's dealing with problems. The way to get rid of it, or so to say, to change my luck is not good. I can't find my other half. I can't make money. I can't deal with my kid. As you go from the behind, from back door. And you're saying, what can I do to change? Let me go out of my way. Let me see where I can give. And the whole world was built on the foundation of giving. We just distorted it and we're constantly taking. What can I take from society? What can I take from the government? What can I take from here? And the whole situation has to be completely reversed. And when you are stuck in some type of a crossroad and you think or you feel that something needs to change here, it's only about giving. The more you give, real genuine giving, you're creating a capacity, a vessel to receive. That's how it works. And you try it, because the more you spit out, that's how you're able to take into yourself. So B'ezrat Hashem, we want to concentrate on A, you want to change yourself, not your mazal. B, if you want to already take it to the next level, then you go out of your way to see what can I do for the people around me, to my wife, to my kids, to my coworkers, to society, to this world, to humanity. And you'll see that that's how you're changing, so to say, your mazal, your destiny, your path. Because you're constantly busy with giving, then Hashem is going to be busy with giving you. Now it's the most auspicious time to do that, because now we're in the month of Elul, the month that we can make a change, that the power, the energy of this month is the energy of changing, of taking something, correcting it, refining it, and moving on. Besides the fact that in 3 weeks we're going to stand in front of the Master of the Universe and He's going to decide what's going to happen in the next coming year. My mazal is going to be now designed based on my behavior, based on my actions. Hashem is kind, He's telling me, I'm going to give you a whole month to work on it. Whatever you didn't do the entire year, do now. Whatever you feel that you failed or you were not able to do the entire year, now is the time to do that. And I know a lot of people, they tell me, they prepare on this month and they want to come to Rosh Hashanah and they're praying to Hashem, I need parnasah, I need sustenance, and I need this business to work out, and I need to find my other half, and I need this, and I need that. Nobody comes and says, God, that family over there, they have some marital problems, maybe you can help them. And that family over there, they're struggling with money, maybe you can help them. And that kid over there is very depressed, maybe you can send that kid a little bit of happiness. We never pray for somebody else. So the entire mind frame has to change completely. Is how am I helping everybody else? And don't worry, Hashem is going to take care of your needs. Much more than what you think. So next time, don't try to change what is already there. Enjoy what you have. Be very happy and very content and appreciate what Hashem gave you. And know that if you're lacking something, first look at yourself. Humble yourself. Say, maybe I damaged something here. That person doesn't want to do business with me. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I lied to him. Maybe I cheated him. Maybe he heard that I cheat other people. So it's always looking at myself. So what you want to take out from tonight, when you come to a lecture, is not only to hear some nice, interesting words or to get inspired, is you want to take something out of the door. If you leave in this room what you took to tonight, then you wasted your time. You want to take with you what you heard tonight. And what you heard tonight is you need to apply something. And what you need to apply is, what am I changing in my life to make more space for everybody around me? How can I open my spiritual doors to everybody around me? What am I changing? And you have to make a decision tonight, not the decision in 3 weeks when you're comfortable and everything's okay. Now you're saying, okay, I'm going to be much nicer to my wife. I'm going to be much more patient with my kids. I'm going to be much more courteous with my employers. I'm going to be much more friendly to my neighbors, whatever it is. But the point is that you constantly want your energy to be directed out. Trust me, everything in your life is going to be much, much better when you're concentrating on other people's well-being. You want to really change your luck is only by showing to the Master of the universe, how am I willing to now share what I have with everybody else? Even if I don't have money, share your time. Share your expertise, your patience, your listening, just anything. Your car, whatever it is. This is the basic things how I change, so to say, my luck. The luck doesn't need to change. And mainly is all these things that are cutting all these channels of communications, have to stop them. Then the communication, the flow of data, so to say, is much more easy, fluent, fast. And that's how I merit to see how amazing the Master of the universe is and how everything that he gives me is unbelievable. That's when I come to the real happiness, the inner happiness. At the end of the day, we all want to be happy. At the end of the day, we're all seeking just this moment, just to be happy. I don't care what I drive, how my house looks, just happy. I want to be happy. Not fake happiness, not a band-aid that I'm happy for 5 minutes or for a day. The real happiness. And the real happiness is when I'm connected to my source. And my source is about how much am I giving. That's why I told you in the beginning of the lecture that the second part of the soul is called Tselem. Why? Because B'Tselem Elokim Nivra Adam. In the image of God, man was created. God is a giver. He says, I want you to be a giver. The more you are a giver, the more you are connected to your essence, the more true happiness you'll find deep down inside. I'm only going to wish you an unbelievable success in your journey, that everything that your heart desires should be fulfilled in the best way possible. Hashem is going to guide you to reach to your essence, so you'll be able to find the deep down part in your neshama and your soul, to find this unbelievable happiness. And B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem will bless you with an unbelievable, successful new year, full of health and wealth and happiness and prosperity. And B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem should bless us all to see with our own eyes the coming of Mashiach. It should happen very soon with our eyes, and we should see the revelation of the building of the third temple very soon. B'ezrat Hashem, we'll see you all very soon in Eretz Israel.